Well, good evening and welcome back to Rainbow Investing. We examine a spectrum of ideas to improve your long-term wealth. Now, in this video, as you can see, we are going to review the Commonwealth Bank of Australia's CommSec Pocket app. Now, CommSec Pocket is an app available for iPhone and Android, and its basic purpose is to provide a cheaper alternative to CommBank's full brokering service, CommSec. So just before we get going, you may want to consider subscribing. I do videos on personal finance and investing, so if that interests you, you might like to hit that big red button just below and check out some of my other videos as well. And even if you don't want to subscribe, if you could do me this small favor of hitting the like button or leaving a comment, it really helps small channels like mine out with the YouTube algorithm. So I would very much appreciate it. So this review was requested by Shannon Boyd. So thanks, Shannon. And if anyone else has any products or services they'd like me to review, feel free to leave it in the comments section and I can give it a look. But back to CommSec Pocket. So most other brokering services, especially those like CommSec and NabTrade that are run by banks, charge brokerage on all share transactions. This is usually between $15 and $30 for a single trade, whether that's a buy or a sell, shares or ETFs, it doesn't really matter. Brokerage is a cost that all investors in Australia simply have to deal with. Further, the minimum trade size with a traditional brokerage program is $500, so you can't really spend less than $500 at a time. That minimum is set by the stock exchange, the ASX, so normally everyone has to play by these two rules. CommSec Pocket aims to disrupt both of these paradigms, however. The app allows you to invest in ETFs and ETFs only. You can't buy individual shares like Commonwealth Bank or Woolworths with this app. But not just any ETFs either though. CommSec Pocket allows you to choose from 7. They are Aussie Top 200, Aussie Dividends, Global 100, Emerging Markets, Healthwise, Sustainability Leaders, and Tech Savvy. Now, if you're not sure what an ETF is, ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. And if we turn this phrase around, it becomes a little easier to understand. An ETF is a fund traded on an exchange. By this, we mean stock exchange. Now, the most important word with ETF is fund. A fund is another word for investment trust, and it's basically designed to own other assets within itself. So with ETFs, this mostly means shares, although there are ETFs that own property, gold, silver, oil, and all other forms of assets or commodities that you can think of, really. So when you're buying a share or a unit of an ETF, you're buying a share of everything that ETF owns. All benefits of owning the shares, or whatever the ETF owns, will get passed to the owners of the ETF. So that means dividends, distributions, all work in the same way. So although CommSec Pocket gives these ETFs slick names like Tech Savvy and Healthwise, all of these categories actually just invest in ETFs that are already on the market. So they're not actually associated with Commonwealth Bank. Commonwealth Bank is just buying them on your behalf and making them sound a little easier. So if you actually want to know what ETFs are behind these cool names, Aussie Top 200, I'll just go back to the start here. Aussie Top 200 is actually the iShares Core S&P ASX 200 fund with the ticker symbol IOZ. So this just buys a weighted average of the top 200 public Aussie companies you can buy. So that's everything from the big 4 banks like Commonwealth Bank to Coles, Telstra, BHP, and all of the other companies that make up the top 200. So you're buying shares, you're literally buying a share in all 200 of the biggest companies available in Australia. Aussie Dividends is actually the SPDR Australia Select High Dividend Fund, ticker symbol SYI. So this one is a little similar to the Aussie Top 200, but it only invests in about 40 companies that pay large dividends. So that means it's a great option for those of you who would like a bit of extra passive income in the form of dividends from the share market. And if you're not sure what a dividend is, I've made a video about that as well, so I'll leave a little link up there in the corner. Now, Global 100 is the iShares Global 100 ETF, ticker symbol IOO. Not much guessing needed for that one. So this one it's quite simple. It just invests in the top 100 largest companies in the world. So that's everything from ExxonMobil to Apple to Microsoft to Nestle to Google to Facebook. It's all in there. All 100 of the biggest companies in the world. Emerging markets, so this one just means markets that are growing really fast and are typically outside the developed economy. So you get companies from China, Taiwan, Korea, and other countries that are outside the developed world. Now, health-wise. Health-wise is actually the iShares Global Healthcare ETF, ticker symbol IXJ. So this one, as it says here, invests in companies that strive to help us live longer, healthier lives. Well, not really. I mean, the companies are active in the healthcare field, but these are companies that make medicines, provide health insurance, run hospitals, and make pharmaceuticals and drugs. So, I mean, technically they are trying to help us live longer and healthier, but they're also trying to make some money on the side. So keep that in mind. Now, sustainability leaders. This is an interesting one. It's actually a global ethical ETF run by BetaShares, specifically the BetaShares Global Sustainability Leaders ETF, ticker symbol ETHI, or ETHI. So this invests in 100 leading sustainable ethical companies. So it will pick big companies, but exclude ones that operate in areas like weapons, gambling, tobacco, so forth, just industries that a lot of investors would find distasteful. And last, we have Tech Savvy, which just follows the BetaShares NASDAQ 100 ETF, ticker symbol NDQ. So this one invests in the largest 100 companies on the US NASDAQ exchange. So basically every big US tech company lists on the NASDAQ as opposed to the New York Stock Exchange, where the other older companies often list. So you're getting everything from Apple, Facebook, and Uber to Tesla, Amazon, and Google, and of course 94 other companies. So a lot of the biggest disruptive companies, movers and shakers, are held in this ETF, and so with Tech Savvy you're getting a slice of 100 of them, which I think is pretty cool. So you can invest in one or more of these ETFs for as little as $50. So remember, the minimum with a normal brokering service is $500, so it brings the bar down quite substantially. So the app will charge you $2 per trade in brokerage, and that's a buy or a sell, up to a value of $1,000. And then it's 0.2% from there. So if you buy $2,000 worth, it'll be 0.2% of $2,000. So the brokerage for small transactions is very effective here, although I would say that if you're buying $50 and it charges you $2 as a percentage, that is still quite high. What you can also do with CommSec Pocket is set automatic fortnightly or monthly investments. So I actually think this is a really good idea and one that's very useful. I always say set and forget type investments have a lot of advantages, and it allows you to build wealth effectively over time without too much effort on your part. Now, it also occurs to me that this app has been established in direct response to the rise of Raise and other micro-investing apps like Spaceship, which have been booming in popularity over the last couple of years. Now, I have video reviews on both Raise and Spaceship, so if you'd like to know more about either of those apps, feel free to check them out with the links here. So, what are my thoughts on this app? Well, I actually quite like it. It's very easy to use, it's not too expensive, and it has a very slick and simple layout, which I think will be very useful and easy for people who don't already invest to understand. I also like the automatic investment features the app provides. So if you're new to investing or want to dip your toes in the water, it's my personal view that this app is a good way to do so. Once you get your feet wet, you might want to graduate onto CommSec or another full brokering service, but for starters, I reckon it's well worth a go. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. If you found this video useful or helpful, make sure to leave a like on it, it really helps me out. And also make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll be back with some more videos soon, but for now, good night.